Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. This is the main news on Camnet TV. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Here are the top stories making headlines in our news tonight. Lusaka man arrested for raping 81-year-old neighbor. Lusaka COMESA market traders protest alleged election interference. PF party paid 11.4 million kwacha for advertising services, witness testifies. In international news, group of displaced Palestinians move into heavily damaged school in Gaza. And in sports news, Gary Neville believes Tottenham versus Man City is the title decider as PEP Guardiola's side rival Arsenal. Do join me with the details shortly after this break.
Enjoy the benefits of an instant loan with us ranging from 1,000 kwacha to 750,000 kwacha paid express once collateral is viewed, valued and verified. Call us on 0763 595 359 or 0779 432 993. Classified Financial Express, here as your financial friend.
And now the news in detail. Residents of Mtendere Township have appealed to Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation to reconsider its decision to ration our water supply in Lusaka. Speaking to Camnet News, the residents expressed concern of possible challenges they might face due to the said decision. Meanwhile, the Zambia Council for Social Development, ZCSD, has urged the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company, LWSC, to implement a schedule that will be favorable to residents in various communities in Lusaka.
Monday, May 15th, the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company announced that it has started rationing water supply due to load management being experienced by the power utility company ZESCO. But residents of Mtendere, who have previously had water supply issues, are against the rationing of water, owing to the fact that water is a necessity for one's life. Sibeso Bulongo, one of the residents, says with water rationing, it will be difficult to do daily household chores, especially in homes without boreholes.
Because manzi ni shani life. Without water, life will be sense na manzi. Difficult man to wash up, everything. So difficult.
And Agnes Ngoma says the company should incorporate tanks to reduce the impact of rationing supply.
Number one, then you tell you se pesa na manzi.
Kwanza upata kudala manzi.
Chitaliyo sema pesa kana manzi. Manyanga tikulie manzi. Sapa papanga nikambe yaenda kudala manzi. Yaenda kudala kubela manzi. Lombo mgasambecha, mgokumwacha, kuchapa nichikulie. Diletako matanki, chaimilile roa pachi. Tafuru mukako. Manje kulie, uliendela moto kushile manzu basafi sweke. Ngachose mamine nililine pano nilimbu. Zecho sakudi.
Senchone kaya tumatinga tibe manzi. Tafutika manzi tawitali. Ambalo kevina kamba hivi, onge kamba yabu kutuwefe. Ofa tuchita hawa izienda mwini. Kama kuna tofutika ya manzi, tafutika tawitali. So hapa kevina kamba so hata tsoi. Hapa mga tu uzafoza.
Meanwhile, Zambia Council for Social Development Acting Executive Director Zebis Mumba says Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company must avail the public with a schedule that will be followed during this period.
As Zambia Council for Social Development, we feel that this is critical but also unavoidable. This is sad development, yet it is understandable as it is a hard reality culminating from the advent of the drought that the country is experiencing currently. We can only hope that the water utility will be able to stick to the supply schedules that they are going to be providing to specific communities from time to time.
Cherish Sibote for Camnet News, Lusaka.
Accusations have been leveled against the current administration at the Cross-Border Traders Association for allegedly bearing aspiring candidates to contest in the Branch A CBTA elections. The aspiring candidates allege that the current administration, which presides over the affairs of traders at COMESA market in Lusaka, is attempting to rig the elections by way of having one-sided elections that only allow voters in favor of the current board to vote. In an interview with Camnet News, campaign manager for the aspiring CBTA Branch A elections, Lucky Kalua, has bemoaned the alleged use of unauthorized election monitors, citing biasness. Meanwhile, the current administration has dispelled assertions that it is attempting to rig the elections.
Expulsion from CBTA.
Tuesday, 14th April 2024, commotion characterized Lusaka's Peace Embassy after allegations that the current administration of the Cross-Border Traders Association, CBTA, barred aspiring candidates from participating in the Branch A CBTA elections. This development fueled and sparked contention between the two camps, as according to the CBTA constitution, it is a mandate for every board to be subjected to elections after their tenure. However, with the purported resistance of the current administration to take to the poll and let registered members of the CBTA decide their fate, the aspiring candidates feel their rights have been infringed and as such have challenged the actions of the ruling administration. Speaking to Camnet News, aspiring CBTA chairman Flavio Simwanza has bemoaned the act, stating that he wants to see free and fair elections being conducted, as the elections are not about COMESA market but CBTA.
We are having elections for cross-border. We are choosing the entire executive members for cross-border Branch A. Now, apparently, what is happening now, our colleagues who are in office, they're not allowing us to go inside. They're saying, you know, we are not members because...
some months ago, elections were supposed to take place, but it was unfortunate that the other group were most of the time delaying to give out the date so that members can know when to vote.
Campaign manager Lucky Kalua has denounced the use of unauthorized election monitors who have allegedly been appointed by the current administration to rule in favor of them. He adds that the election ought to be monitored and observed by the Foundation for Democratic Process, FODEP, and AVAP.
Participating in the elections for CBTCA Branch A. And what has transpired is that the person who is conducting elections is not the executive, national executive and FODEP, because us right now we are waiting for FODEP to come and monitor these elections, and the national executives are supposed to be present. Now, what is unfortunate is they are allowing a person who was suspended and expelled from the market, from CBTA market, to conduct elections. What is the problem? What is going on with these people?
And some voters have equally opposed the activities allegedly being influenced by the current CBTA administration.
bonse tusirize bonse bachokepo benangu sibafuna nopezeka because bapezeka bonse benangu banabalesa.
The words that I can say is that we really want peaceful elections. You know, what other colleagues are doing from the other team is not right and it's not allowed, where you select who to vote and who is not.
Meanwhile, the current administration has dispelled these allegations.
Market hii tunakula market na drama zatu mumatumba. Are you sure you can let your shares to be eaten by someone else? This is the confusion here. These are buggers, thieves from Kibori. How can they come and take over the market? That's the confusion here.
In light of this commotion, the elections have since been halted by the authorities on grounds of violence.
As things stand, do we have elections today?
There's no elections.
The reasons?
This violence.
Violence from which party? From who are bringing violence?
Against confusions.
Chanda Mwango for Camnet News in Lusaka.
A state witness fell sick Tuesday morning during trial in an alleged criminal case involving the former First Lady Esther Lungu. 53-year-old herbalist Elizabeth Piri fell sick during her cross-examination. Promptly, Lusaka magistrate Mbuyavwa Simvula to adjourn the matter. In this matter, Mrs. Lungu is jointly charged with others, facing allegations of theft of motor vehicles and a title deed to a property. The Lusaka Magistrate Court has set 28th and 29th May 2024 as the date for continuation of trial.
Next, the 28 and 29. That week, among guys that and go for assembly. But if you want to 2.8 billion,
Biological daughter to late former Zambia Air Force Commander Vanessa Shikapwasha has told court that murder accused John Lusengo is her stepmother. In cross-examination, Vanessa Shikapwasha testified before Lusaka High Court Judge Concepta Zulu that late General Shikapwasha had other children from other women apart from her biological mother Doreen Kavinga. In this matter, John Lusengo is facing one count of murder contrary to Section 200 of the Penal Code in connection with the death of Ronnie Shikapwasha.
Stepdaughter to murder accused John Lusengo has told the Lusaka High Court that her biological parents were Doreen Kavinga and Ron Shikapwasha, who died in 2004 and 2024 respectively. Vanessa Shikapwasha, 38, in cross-examination, testified before the Lusaka High Court Judge Concepta Zulu that the late retired Lieutenant General Shikapwasha had other children from other women apart from her mother, and agreed that his late father on 3 occasions chased her stepmother from the matrimonial home but was quick to bring her back. When asked by defense lawyer Friday Mlenga Jr. when she discovered that late Shikapwasha was her biological father, Vanessa indicated that she discovered that the late Shikapwasha was her biological father when she was a child in grade 8, and indicated that her mother did not raise her single-handedly. The witness told the court that she moved in with her stepmother and late father in 2002 and later got married in 2004, but in 2018 her husband died and moved back to her father and Jen Lusengo's house, where she stayed for a few months and later stayed by herself before she returned to the Shikapwashas in 2022. Defense lawyer Mlenga Jr. further asked Vanessa how many languages she could speak fluently, and the witness responded English, Nyanja, Bemba, and Lenje. At this point, Mr. Mlenga asked her to interpret the following to Lenje. I had a difficult morning coming to court because I had to lie again. Vanessa interpreted in Lenje saying ndalalinga ndalilwa uza ukoti mulandundalinga abejalimo. The state witness, however, agreed that her father and Jen Lusengo were married for 46 years and that she was born in 1986 after her father had married the accused, and revealed that the late Shikapwasha had other children aside from her and named some of them comprising Isaac, Ronald, Milika, Abner, and Mapalo, and some more she could not mention. She also told the court that she was not aware that her father had a conversation with a nurse and physician who attended to him, allegedly telling them that he shot himself while admitted at Mainasoko Military Hospital. When further asked by defense lawyer Gilbert Pindani if Vanessa is aware that Lele Shikapwasha admitted to having pulled the trigger himself to Dr. Levi Mchemwa while in hospital, the witness responded in the negative. In this matter, Jane Lusengo, wife to the late Rona Shikapwasha, is alleged to have shot her husband at their Ibex residency on 13th January 2024 in Lusaka. Trial in this matter continues on 21st May 2024. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
A witness from an advertising company has told the Lusaka Magistrate Court that Patriotic Front PF party had an agreement of 11.4 million kwacha for provision of services such as rent of a billboard space and printing of advertising material, and all the money was paid by the party. Catherine Mashoko, a state witness, testified that the services were offered to the PF during the campaigns for the 2021 general elections, which were held in Zambia, and the agreement was signed by Davis Mwila. This is in a matter in which former Patriotic Front Secretary General Davis Mwila and former Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Justice, Annie Mwitwa, are charged of being in possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime worthy more than 102 million kwacha.
A state witness has told the Lusaka Magistrate Court that Patriotic Front entered into an agreement of 11.4 million kwacha for the provision of services such as the rental of billboard space and printing of advertising material, and all the money was paid by the PF. Catherine Mashoko, in her testimony, says the services were offered to the PF during the campaigns for the 2021 general elections, in which the agreement was agreed by the two parties, later signed by Davis Mwila as Secretary General of the PF. In this matter, Davis Mwila and former Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Justice, Annie Mwitwa, are charged with the offense of possessing property suspected to be proceeds of crime worth more than 102 million kwacha. Allegations are that Mwila and Mwitwa, between January 1st, 2021 and August 31st, 2021, whilst acting together with other persons unknown, possessed 102,600,000 kwacha property deemed to be proceeds of crime. In the second count, it is alleged that on the same date, the duo failed to report suspicious transactions in the sum of 102,600,000 kwacha to the Financial Intelligence Center, FIC. On Monday, a banker from a named bank testified how the PF deposited huge sums of money to animal to legal practitioners between a minimum of 10,000 and a maximum of 9 million kwacha in 2021. The witness also told the court that when the bank questioned the source of the funds, it was revealed that the money was from the PF Secretariat from well-wishers and was being deposited under the instructions of Mr. Mwila. Trial in this matter continues Wednesday. Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
A 24-year-old man of Shantu in Lusaka has been arrested for allegedly raping an 81-year-old woman. Police Deputy Spokesperson Danny Mwale says the suspect, identified as Maurice Chomba, entered the elderly woman's house on May 12, 2024, around 23 hours and found her alone in the living room. Mr. Mwale explains that the suspect then dragged her to the bedroom and raped her. Meanwhile, a 7-year-old girl of Lusaka's Chipata Overspill has been defiled by a 37-year-old man of the same area.
A 24-year-old man of Shantumbo in Lusaka has been arrested for raping an 81-year-old woman. Maurice Chomba, who lives in the same neighborhood with the elderly woman in Shantumbo area, is alleged to have entered her house on May 12, 2024, around 23 hours and raped the woman therein. Police investigations indicate that he found the victim alone in the living room and later dragged her to her bedroom where he had carnal knowledge of her. He was caught in the act by the victim's grandson, aged 24. The suspect was apprehended and handed over to police while the victim was rushed to the hospital. Her condition is said to be unstable. He is in custody waiting to be charged. and a 7-year-old girl of Lusaka's Chipata overspill area has been defiled by a 37-year-old man of the same area. Police were informed that the mother noticed her daughter was not working properly, and when interviewed, the victim revealed that a known man had carnal knowledge of her in an unfinished house near their house. The incident happened on May 12, 2024, around 14 hours in Chipata overspill. Police officers rushed the victim to the hospital, and a manhunt was launched, which led to the arrest of the suspect. The victim is undergoing medical examinations, while the suspect is detained in custody waiting to be formally charged.
Kayama Town Council hands over classroom blocks and desks to Kambana and Loma primary schools. Kayama Town Council has officially handed over 2 newly constructed classroom blocks and desks to Kambana and Loma primary schools in Kayama District, Western Province. Western Province Minister Kafue City, who officiated the handover ceremony, urged the communities to protect the environment and avoid burning forests, which contribute to climate change. Kayama Town Council Secretary Dr. Moses Mutioka emphasized the importance of preserving the new infrastructure and urged the communities to refrain from vandalizing the facilities.
This makeshift setup was considered a classroom block at Loma and Kambana primary schools since the school's opening. Kayama Town Council has come to the rescue, handing over a newly constructed 1x3 classroom block at Kambana Primary School and a 1x2 classroom block at Loma Primary School in Kayama District of Western Province. This gesture signifies the government's commitment to national development. The handing over ceremony was graced by Western Province Minister Kafue City.
We are all being requested from this year that when we are cultivating or preparing for cultivation, we should stop burning our fields. We should also stop burning the forests. We should also stop burning the plains, because that also worsens the global warming. The government also, through the Ministry of Agriculture, is encouraging that we must change our mindset in the context of the way we cultivate. We should now transit to irrigation. Have good contractors who can do a good job like here in a shorter period. Even if we give them 3, 4, 5 projects, it doesn't matter, because we have seen that some of these contractors, they are behaving like they are politicians.
Dr. Moses Mtoka is Kayama Town Council Secretary.
Our council is equal to the task, and we are on the ground, and we are ensured that quality is delivered equal to the money. Value for money will be achieved for the projects that we are implementing. This classroom block we are handing over today is not an empty class, it's also furnished with desks.
And to ride on the earlier promises we gave you, that we are going to ensure that the contractor that will be given assignments will deliver on time, because they will be credible, tested contractors with impeccable backgrounds.
Others who spoke are Seshemu Ward Councillor David Mbambe and the community members who expressed their gratitude for the new reconstructed classroom blocks.
This 1x3 classroom block today will be left in our hands and under our care. Let's guard it jealously and not allow anyone to vandalize it.
Umweshafaza mahinu abana baruna bana ni una bashemi kasibiri kuli bana baruna abakaituta ni una bashemi ukambosha fala.
The project, constructed under the 2023 Constituency Development Fund, cost 1,210,000 kwacha. Mosiabo Kabila, Camnet News in Kayama District of Western Province.
Lusaka City Council has installed 28 solar-powered lights in Kawata constituency, Libala Township. Lusaka City Council Assistant Public Relations Manager Nyambe Bulumba says the streetlights have been installed to enhance security and safety for pedestrians and motorists, particularly at night. He has urged the community to join forces with the local authority in protecting the lights against vandalism and damage.
We have successfully completed the installation of 28 solar-powered street lights along the 20th Street in NEVILLE ward of Kawata constituency. The project costed 1,151,700 kwacha and was funded using the 2023 CDF allocation for Kawata constituency. The installation, which commenced in February this year, is aimed at enhancing security and safety for pedestrians and motorists in the area, especially at night. The solar-powered option reduces reliance on ZESCO connection and will further minimize electricity costs that the council has been incurring. The street lights stretch from Bama Road to beyond Chirumbo Road, and the project actually marks a significant investment in the well-being and prosperity of NEVILLE ward residents. The new street lighting system will transform the area, enhancing security and visibility. The local authority urges the community to protect this valuable asset and ensure that vandals do not take advantage. We remain committed as the council to ensure that projects of this magnitude are executed for members of the public to realize the benefits of such funds like the CDF.
The Zambians for Unity, Peace and Development, ZUPAID, has joined calls for the government to consider channeling to Konkola Copper Mines PLC the $24 million United States dollars, which was forfeited to the state by the Zambian court from the previous KCM provincial liquidator Milingo Lungu. ZUPAID President Ronnie Jere is confident that the money can go a long way in helping the operations of KCM, as it is still financially struggling because Vedata Resources has not yet fully taken over the full operations of the mine. He observed the need to protect and save jobs at KCM for workers employed either directly or indirectly.
To consider channeling back to KCM PLC the $24 million which was forfeited to the state by the Zambian courts from the previous KCM provisional liquidator, Mr. Milingo Lungu. We are confident that this money can go a long way in helping with the operations of KCM, as it is still financially struggling because Vedata has not yet taken over the mine. It is prudent that the government takes the $24 million back to KCM, considering the fact that the $25 million that was disbursed to KCM by Vedata in February 2024 is almost depleted. We need to protect and save jobs at KCM for workers employed either directly or indirectly. We are of the firm view that if the asset is left unchecked, it may lead to serious problems. Hence, we need to quickly allow Vedanta to invest their $1.3 billion in the mine so that it is recapitalized and it can operate optimally. As ZUPAID, we are confident that Vedanta will resuscitate KCM when the government fully hands over the asset to the investor. This is why we have been calling upon the speedy transition process.
The Tuksila American University has commended the defense forces in Zambia for ensuring that peace and unity reigns in the country. Speaking when the Zambia Army paid a courtesy call, Dr. Balumagwan Eswarani appealed to the defense forces to extend their expertise to students from the university to enable them acquire similar skills. He adds the university is one cause to facilitate for courses in line with military training to help students understand the mandate of defense forces. Meanwhile, Zambia Army Director Research and Innovation, Lieutenant Colonel Harrison Kandela, says the defense is equally on course to partner with academic institutions to provide defense and security in various institutions of learning.
We came in 2015, and 2015 and 2016, we only have taken our time to just get involved with the country, that what is actually the liking, what the people are looking for, what kind of the education we need to extend for the Zambian people and also the African people. So, as far as the university's motto, we have just wanted that there should not be any lacking from the African students when we are comparing it to the West. So we wanted that our counterparts would also have the same kind of the ability.
Tesla American University have a separate software development unit in India. The team comprises of a good number of software developers. It begins from managing our website, it begins from our internal products. All our operation, it starts from student admission, then employee management, then the enterprise resource planning softwares like student support services. Okay, all the human resource management, everything has been managed in-house by Tesla. Tesla is not purchasing any product from external vendors. Tesla itself developing the softwares and sending the softwares to other universities.
We're trying to spread our wings to begin to cooperate and partner with the academia, such as Texila University. We're also working with defense schools, the R&D institutions, to ensure that we coordinate and collaborate on research and new technologies that may be utilized for national defense and security. Well, all of us are well aware that Zambia Army's primary role is to ensure that we provide defense as well as security. So in so doing, research and development is at the center or cornerstone upon which all military readiness, strategic superiority and national security is actually built. A few functions of the branch is to advise command on all research and development matters. We are also responsible for coordinating the conduct of research in Zambia Army.
We now take a set of commercials. I will be back with the rest of the news after the break.
Potatoes, the unsung heroes of flavor. From crispy chips to creamy mash, potatoes are the versatile superstars of your kitchen. Grown with love by our dedicated workforce drawn from around the community of Palabana. Savenda Farm's commitment is to see to it that we have potatoes that are grown right, healthy, big and tasty. For that quick fix or big celebration or that meal that brings family together, top chefs rely on the Savenda potato to create culinary masterpieces. And for others, it's that icebreaker to a delightful conversation. So, embrace the magic of Savenda potatoes. They're not just a side dish, they're the heart and soul of your kitchen. Savenda, save nations, develop Africa.
Are you looking for a reliable and efficient courier company with international standards? Then let UBZ Courier, your trusted partner in swift and secure deliveries, be your ultimate choice. Whether it's a small package or a hefty consignment, UBZ Courier handles it all, locally and internationally. Our modern call center ensures personalized attention for every client. For seamless deliveries within Zambia and beyond, trust UBZ Courier. Call us now on +260 763 062 680 or visit us at plot number 15 Mwapona Road, Woodlands, Lusaka, Zambia. UBZ Courier, a world-class brand that can be trusted.
With this impending drought, it's time we look to alternatives of sustaining our crops. as ISDP are promoting irrigation and water harvesting as the solution to challenges posed by climate change. Watch our 13-week series as we unfold the solutions for our crops. Catch us every Monday at 2040 hours, repeats every Tuesday at 1910.
Thank you so much for staying with us. And now, in international news, a group of displaced Palestinians have moved into a school run by a UN agency that was heavily damaged during the ongoing Israel-Hamas war and fixed some of the classrooms where they now live. The school in the southern city of Khan Yunis used to be run by the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees known as UNRWA was damaged by Israel's bombardment of the Gaza Strip. The families who were displaced from the southern city of Rafah along the border with Egypt cleaned some of the classrooms, removed debris, and fixed some of the damage, then settled in. UNRWA said 360,000 Palestinians have fled the city of Rafah over the past week out of 1.3 million who were sheltering there before the operation began. Here's a roundup of international news.
The school in the southern town of Khan Yunis was run by the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, known as UNRWA. Damaged in the ongoing Israel-Hamas war, it now houses a group of displaced Palestinians from Rafah. The displaced families here cleaned some of the classrooms, removed debris and fixed the damage before settling in. They told us to evacuate the schools in Rafah, so we came to Muwasi in Khan Yunis, and here it is as you see it. Complete destruction. The Jews entered it and destroyed it. No matter how much we clean it, we cannot shelter our children in it. No water, nothing. That's it over there, the burned school. We're unable to live in it. Israel has portrayed Rafah as the last stronghold of Hamas, brushing off warnings from the US and other allies. UNRWA says around 360,000 Palestinians have fled the city over the past week. We came to the schools to reclaim a place in which to settle as a shelter. We did not find a better place than it. There is no water, no electricity, and there is no life. And here you are. As you can see, we and the girls and boys try as much as we can, trying to look for shelter. Israel's offensive has killed more than 35,000 Palestinians, mostly women and children, according to Gaza's health ministry, which doesn't distinguish between civilians and combatants in its figures. Israel says it has killed over 13,000 militants without providing evidence.
Chad's opposition leader says he had filed an appeal with the country's constitutional council to challenge the preliminary result of the May 6 presidential election. In social media post Sunday, Succès Mastra shared a copy of a receipt showing that document had been filed with the council. The election's preliminary result showed President Mohamed Déby Itno won with just over 61% of the votes, and the runner-up Mastra at over 18.5%. Mastra, the Prime Minister of Chad's transitional government, had claimed victory shortly before the announcement and alleged that election results were being manipulated. He hasn't publicly shared evidence to support his claim. Chad had its long-delayed election following 3 years of military rule. Analysts widely expected incumbent to win, Mohamed Idris Déby, had seized power after his father, who spent 3 decades in power, was killed fighting rebels in 2021. A huge diamond with an estimate of over $7 million will go on sale in Geneva this week. Weighing over 100 carats, the fancy vivid yellow Cartier diamond brooch will be auctioned in Geneva on May 17 by Sotheby's. It is known as the Alnat diamond.
What I'm holding here is the wonderful all-knot diamond mounted by Cartier in 1952. We call it the all-knot because the first known owner of the stone was a Major Ernst Alfred Allnot, a British sportsman, collector of old master paintings and philanthropist. He brought this stone to Cartier in 1952, where they put together this beautiful flower-inspired mount.
The stone is believed to have been mined in South Africa more than 100 years ago. It is of such importance that it has appeared in international exhibitions, including at the Smithsonian Museum in Washington, D.C. This is the fourth time it's been up for sale in almost 30 years. The auction will take place at the Mandarin Oriental Hotel in Geneva.
Vladimir Putin would travel to China after his inauguration, but we didn't know when, and now we have the dates. We also know that they are expected to, of course, deepen military and economic cooperation, as well as ink new energy deals potentially. And after that, Vladimir Putin will also sign a joint statement, as well as a number of bilateral documents. He will also be attending an event marking the 75th anniversary of diplomatic relations between the two countries, also as the exhibition kicks off of the year of Russian and Chinese culture. So it's something else. Also, Vladimir Putin will be doing a little bit of traveling around. He will visit Harbin, and there he will be attending the 8th Russian-Chinese Expo, as well as the 4th Russian-Chinese Forum on Inter-Regional Cooperation. The two, of course, have a lot to discuss. China is, of course, Russia's main trading and strategic partner, of course, as we all know. And this trip, of course, will come in stark contrast to the recent trip by the Chinese leader, who's fresh off his European tour. He went there for the first time in 5 years, where he had to answer a lot of tough questions regarding his friendship and relations with Russia. As we know, Europe has always been suspicious regarding Beijing's global ambitions, as well as its influence and what China is trying to achieve in the region, as well as globally. And also we know that Europe is having a lot of economic grievances lately with China, and some experts are predicting that it could turn into a full-blown trade war. So, of course, on the backdrop of that, this trip is just like a meeting between two friends, two longtime business partners. And it's not the first time. Actually, someone did the math, and apparently this is the 4th time that the two leaders will have a face-to-face meeting since the beginning of the special military operation, so since 2022. Also, last year in 2023, of course, not only did the Chinese leader come to Moscow, but Vladimir Putin also traveled to Beijing, and now we have 2024, and he'll be back there again because, of course, these two have lots to discuss, and the whole world is watching what will come out of these.
In sports news, Gary Neville believes Tottenham versus Man City is the title decider as Pep Guardiola's side rival Arsenal. Gary Neville believes Tottenham versus Man City is the game that decides the Premier League title race. Arsenal have a 1-point lead over City, with the Gunners needing a hand from their rivals, with Spurs versus Man City live on Sky Sports on Tuesday from 7 p.m. kickoff 8 p.m. Gary Neville believes the Premier League title race between Arsenal and Manchester City will be decided on Tuesday night when Tottenham host Pep Guardiola's side live on Sky Sports. Arsenal's 1-0 win at Manchester United means the two-way title race will definitely go down to this Sunday's final day, with the Gunners holding a 1-point lead over City with one of the season remaining. However, City have a game in hand at Arsenal's North London rivals Spurs on Tuesday night, kick-off at 8 p.m. Should Guardiola's side win that game, they will hold a 2-point lead over the Gunners with one round of Premier League fixtures left. That's it for our main news tonight. Here's a recap of the stories making headlines. Lusaka man arrested for raping 81-year-old neighbor. Lusaka COMESA market traders protest alleged election interference. PF party paid 11.4 million kwacha for advertising services, witness testifies. In international news, group of displaced Palestinians move into heavily damaged school in Gaza. And in sports news, Gary Neville believes Tottenham versus Man City is the title decider as Pep Guardiola's side rival Arsenal. Our verse for the night is coming from the book of Psalm 5, verse 3. My voice shall you hear in the morning, O Lord. In the morning will I direct my prayer unto you and will look up. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Good night.